Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we have a recap and review of Married at First Sight season 12 episode 5, Last Night Was Magic, featuring Vincent and Briana. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. If you like the video, hit the like button as well, and then feel free to drop a comment because I do like to engage with the subscribers and viewers. So it starts off with Vincent being shown telling Briana that his grandmother had a scare. Ooh, and that's good to hear, that it was just a scare and she had to go to the hospital, but she is doing better. So that's good to hear. Vincent thanked Briana for being so sweet and so supportive, and he promised to have her back going forward as well. Both Vincent and Briana established trust in the situation, and Vincent said that this beautiful moment made them feel more connected after just a few days of marriage. So now we see them over breakfast. Briana said that she'd like to live in a high-rise condo, and then she and Vincent also discussed having children in 2 or 3 years. Vincent said that he would love to have a baby girl first, and Briana confessed the conversation felt a little bit strange given that they had just met, but she says she knows her husband and and he's everything she ever dreamed of. But she did say it was just a little bit too soon in a confessional. And then, too, you know, they had the conversation about her being bossy, which is what that scene was at the wedding when the officiant was talking about bossy, 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 bossy. So, but they, you know what, they worked it out. It didn't turn into a big issue between the two of them. But I'm glad that they were able to talk out, you know, their living situations, because they're going to need to discuss that, and also children. That's another thing that has to be discussed. So that went over well. So now we on day 3 of marriage. Paige stopped by to see Briana on a visit, and also we did get to see Vincent also meet up with Chris as well. And then, as we stated in the previous video, Paige was confessing that her mind was all over the place. She didn't know how to process things, so she's hoping that Briana could calm her down and give her some good advice. She told Briana she don't know how to feel anymore. I don't know if I can continue. I just got the biggest bombshell dropped on me. And, you know, I told you he was engaged and stuff, but I found out she was pregnant. And then there's the conversation between Chris and Vincent as well. You know, and of course this blown Vincent away based on the revelation of the fact that his ex-fiance was, you know, pregnant. And of course Chris described it as very disturbing. Chris said his ex had known about the pregnancy for a few weeks. She didn't tell me right away. I know she's being honest. I'm almost 100% confident that it's my child, but he's concerned about Paige and how it affect the marriage. And then of course Briana is still in disbelief. Briana expressed how sorry she was for Paige. Paige admitted she felt numb. Things weren't adding up for her. Briana recalled that Chris was engaged in February of 2020, and Paige and Chris never gave specific details on the split. So, you know, it's an interesting situation that goes back and forth. And if you haven't seen the first video that I did, the recap on Chris and Paige, you can check that out. I will link that also to this video. But Vincent did tell Chris that he would be upset if he was in Paige's shoes as well. And of course, Vincent did ask Chris whether he would get back with the ex if Paige never entered the picture. And of course, Chris told him, you know, that's the natural inclination to want to have a full family with 2 parents in the household, the kid. But I'm married, so I can't think about those things. He's concerned how we're, you know, of course, Paige stood with all of this and whether she would stay with him. And of course, you know, Paige told Briana, you know, although they're missing chemistry right off the bat, you know, they've been turning over a new leaf and she thinks they're heading in the right direction. You know, Chris also acknowledged that if I was Paige, I wouldn't do it. But, you know, when, of course, all of this conversation was going on. I mean, it was an interesting episode for Chris and Paige, and I'm just liking the fact that they had somebody to actually talk to and confide in with all of this, because that's a lot of interesting news to receive, especially with a new marriage. So I'm glad Paige actually had somebody to go to, and of course we saw the conversation between Chris and Vincent as well. But at the end of the conversation with Briana and Paige, Briana told her, you have to make the best decision for you. And, she's absolutely correct. I mean, the thing is that at the end of the day, what do you want to do? And the decision is hers. So it doesn't really matter what everybody else might think about the situation. Paige is the one that has to make the decision on whether to move forward in the midst of the situation or not. But Paige said, you know what? They matched us for a reason. I'm still trying to find all that out. I'm diving in the abyss to find it all. But, she definitely didn't expect to cultivate a marriage starting out this way. So, Paige, she's not sure whether she wants to be with a man that have kids, that she told her, and the situation is challenging to deal with, especially since her marriage is so fresh and new. And she also said that if this is what 4 days look like, what about 4 years or 4 months, because Paige always dreamt of being married. So she felt extremely confused and didn't know what to do. So again, Briana advised her to make the best decision for her and not for Chris. So now Vincent returns to meet her husband. They reunite, and Vincent said to Briana that the ex was 6 weeks pregnant and she'd known for a while before telling Chris. Vincent called Chris broken, and Briana had trouble imagining Paige playing stepmom to Chris's child. And she said, me being a woman, I would have said F no. If she was in Paige's shoes, I would think about myself first and how much I could take, she told Vincent. And, although Briana thought Paige was staying with Chris was crazy, she said she didn't want to push her opinion on her friend. Briana planned to support her no matter what her decision is. And usually that ends up being the case, because no matter what somebody else thinks, especially when you're talking to your friends, that person in the situation have to make the final decision. So you can push all you want, you can throw whatever opinions, but the person is going to do what they're going to do at the end of the day. So they also talked about their own relationship and how well that they're going and how well that they're doing. And they're happy and excited that they got everything they wanted out of a partner. They have a lot of chemistry, and the thing is that she definitely got what she wanted, because Briana also was one of the ones that wanted to be attracted to her new spouse, and she's attracted to him. And then the other things that come into play. So it wasn't just physical with him. She also likes everything that comes with his personality as well. So we definitely see a lot of that on the screen. She's always smiling, and they communicate well together. He, being that she is heavily opinionated, he tends to flow right along with that. So they're working very well together. So now Vincent sets up this romantic poolside dinner for his wife, Briana, in which their feet were it was also in the sand as well. And I like the fact that he picked her up and carried her across I think he carried her across the pool. And they had this, little sit down and they had dinner. But she did say, Vincent exceeded my expectations as a husband. I never thought I'd be in this space with someone who allows me to be myself. That makes me feel really good, that he just accepts me for who I am. And they're playing footsies in the sand, and Briana is just gushing. And Briana also revealed that, they have this cute sense of humor they're laughing, they're engaging with each other. She looked like she has stars in her eyes, and he's just as enamored with her. So, I mean, this is what we see from them all the time. Now, I know it's just episode 5, but I hope they tend to stay right on this pathway that they have, because they're getting off to a good start, you know. And if there are things that come up in their relationship, I could actually see these two actually working through these things, whatever that may be, because their communication skills are so, you know, so good with each other. So chemistry is definitely a big important part with them, because it just fits. It really do. So they're enjoying the rest of their romantic date. And I thought that was pretty creative of Vincent to, I know he probably got help with production and everything, but from what they say, you know, he set this up. So I like the fact that he has a romantic side to himself, because, you know, the ladies like stuff where a guy has a creativity bone or a creativity knack to put some things together and, you know, to keep the romance alive. So, again, you know, I don't see any issues with them so far. And they just playing with each other's toes up under the table in the sand. So I thought that was cute. So at the end, we didn't get a lot of them. We did get the question about who consummated their marriage. And of course, Vincent and Briana said that they did. So I know Chris and Paige did, but they didn't put that out there as far as we've seen. But now they have consummated their marriage as well. So we'll see what happens next week on this journey. So let's do our post notification shout out. Our first post notification goes to Ann Birchfield. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate it. The next person is Caden Patch. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Yes, they are so adorable. Thank you as well for engaging and dropping your comment. And also Yvette LeBron Dames. I like that name, girl. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment on the review, and I appreciate your comment. Thanks. So until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.